Pranam and welcome to episode 300 of Konnakol 2020, the video series in which every day of this year so far I have been showing you something about Konnakol, the wonderful vocal percussion tradition of South India. I am Carlitos from Slovenia and today is the 26th of October. First of all, I would like to thank you for watching all these 300 videos that I have been putting every single day so far. It's only 66 videos left, so I think I'm going to make it. Of course, the pandemic also helped because I traveled a lot less than I'm used to during this year. But that's beside the point. I just wanted to say a big thank you for sticking around for so many episodes. And to celebrate 300 episodes, I wanted to do a special. So today we're going to focus on my transcription system. In the past couple of years, I have been developing a transcription system in order to write down and organize the Konnakol lessons I had been receiving from my teacher, Praveen Narayan from Chennai. That on the one hand, but on the other hand, because Konnakol 2020, this series, it naturally evolved into a more or less educational series. Over the course of 300 episodes, I had to clearly standardize the ways in which I wrote down all these compositions and then transcribe them, then show them to you. As you know, Konnakol is part of the Carnatic music tradition, which is primarily transmitted in oral form, so not a lot is written. And that is why we do not have a standard transcription or notation system for Konnakol. And what is written down actually differs. It really is different according to different lineages, right? So a particular school might transcribe some in one way or in another way. So for us Westerners, it becomes really a hit and miss. So I thought, okay, let's try to present my own system. And today I wanted to show you how this transcription system works, why I think it works very well, and how you can implement it to transcribe Konnakol or any other kinds of vocal percussion music. My transcription system, which by the way doesn't have a name, so I guess we can call it CTS or Carlitos Transcription System, whatever. This system has two central values: simplicity and flexibility. So it is not a full-blown notation system as we would have in other traditions, but it is a means to quickly and reliably commit to paper any Konnakol composition. To use the system, you will need two things. One, a note-taking application for your computer, tablet, or phone that can process rich text format files. And the second thing is a monospace font. That's all. So a few words about the note-taking app. This is where we will spend the most time, so it needs to be an app, a piece of software that you are comfortable using. And after trying many apps, I settled for one of the most basic, which is Apple Notes, because it supports rich text formatting. It can store and organize notes in multiple folders. What else? Yes, it automatically syncs to all my devices. That means my phone and my computer. And also because it is a first-party application. That means that Apple makes it. You know that Apple will never discontinue it. So those are the reasons why I choose Apple Notes. Of course, you can choose any other. Maybe you don't have an Apple device. No problem. Other great note-taking apps that you can use are Evernote, Drafts, Microsoft OneNote, Envialt, Notability, and many more, and I'll put links to all of them in the video's description. Again, what's important here is that you find one environment to write rich text format files and stick to it. Now a few words about the monospace font, any one at all. So first of all, a monospace font, which is also called a fixed width font, is a font whose letters and characters, they take up exactly the same horizontal space. And that is what we want. I cannot stress this enough. We need to use monospace fonts for our transcriptions. A few examples of monospace fonts that you can find in your computer are Courier New, Consolas, Menlo, Monaco, or Roboto Mono. That is the default from Android, I believe. So there's a ton of free fonts out there that are monospace. Just again, Pick one, and pick one that supports the different stylings such as bold, italics, and underline, because we will use those. My personal choice is Menlo because it's a font that comes with the operating systems of all the Apple products that I use. And again, it is the default monospace font of Apple Notes. So I just, took it and ran with it. So how does the system work? The system, because it's not a full-fledged notation system, it is a relative notation system in the sense that it depends entirely on one main subdivision, or nadai. That's a word I've been using a lot in the past 300 videos. So before starting to transcribe anything, you need to identify which will be the composition's main nadai. And so ask yourself, for instance, how many units am I counting in each beat most of the time? Is it 3, 4, 5 perhaps, maybe 6? You need to figure out that. And then the syllables that we will write that will be rendered in this main nadai, we will use a regular font that is not italic, not bold, just regular. Then, if the composition switches nadais, right, it goes from Chaturashranadai Madhyamakalam to Tishranadai Madhyamakalam, for example, then you need to identify those with some other style. And you can pick anyone. You can pick italics, bold, whatever. But once you stick with that, then you need to be consistent. I tend to favor italics first, then bold, then italics and bold at the same time, because I just like that. Then every syllable, and by syllable I mean sollu in Carnatic tradition or bol in Hindustani tradition, it maps to exactly one akshara or one beat. That is super important. So one syllable, one akshara. And if a syllable that you are transcribing, you hear it that it lasts more than one, let's say taka ju nu, then you need to write ta rest, ka rest, ju rest, nu rest, because the syllable itself will only account for one akshara, and you are hearing that is in a subdivision of 4, taka dimmi taka ju nu, you are hearing taka ju nu, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, taka ju. So it's ta dash ka dash ju dash nu dash. Then the individual beats or matras in Aditalam has 8, right? The individual beats will be separated by at least 2 spaces, never tabs, spaces. So you need to, with your space bar, do it, twice at least. Then you'll see in an example tomorrow. And this is the reason why we use a monospace font, because if the widths of the letters, they would not be uniform, then we would have to use tabs in order to organize all of this in the same way. And that way lies madness. You do not want to use tabs in this way at all. And one last thing about organization, the actual beats are organized according to the shape of the talam you are rendering it in. For example, Aditalam has 8 beats. So what I like to do is to have 4 beats on one line and then 4 on another, if space allows it, right? And finally, in this video, I will not go into detail about why we use the syllables we use, because the system itself, the transcription system, is tradition agnostic, really. You can effectively use it to transcribe any sort of vocal percussion or even actual, instrument percussion, and not just Konnakol. Unfortunately, we ran out of time for today, so tomorrow we're going to continue with this special about transcription, and I'm going to dive right in and show you with a nice screencast exactly how to transcribe from korvai that I wrote with my hand, that I hand wrote back in the day, how to transform that into a nice and neat transcription that uses my transcription system. Let's call it CTS, Carlitos Transcription System. Anyway, that's all from me today from this very special episode 300 already, but we're not done. We have 66 more to go. Let me know what you think about this transcription system or anything related to the series by using the Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube comment boxes, or by reaching out to me via my social networks displayed here. I have been Carlitos from Slovenia. Thanks a lot again so much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.